Team, welcome to Jira live training day one session. So we have completed the orientation session sometime last week. Hope you all have attended the orientation session. Did anybody miss the orientation session, or at least did you miss even watching the recording of the orientation session? Is anybody there? Or the other question is anybody directly joining today without watching the orientation or whether attending or live training? Team, can you hear my question, right? Uh, so, okay. Akshay says you missed. Okay. Anybody else miss the orient? Anyway, I'm going to quickly recap it in 5 minutes and then we will move ahead. Okay. But yeah, so let's quickly recap what we have done and see what is there for the next. So we kind of looked at the agenda as introduction to the Jira software. We looked at what is an introduction to agile delivery because predominantly most of the people in the current industry are following agile, not just IT, but even non-IT. So definitely most of the IT are following agile. So we also kind of quickly touched upon it. We'll discuss in detail probably in one of the session before we get into the tool and create an agile project, agile Scrum project in the Jira. And then we also looked at introduction to Scrum methodology. So Scrum is one of the agile delivery. There are many other agile deliveries, so Scrum is one of them. And most of the people follow is Scrum. And then what are the different types of software that is available for us for either to work in real time or to practice is what we have looked at. We'll quickly touch upon that. And what kind of different projects you can create within the Jira software. Like one is definitely the normal basic software development, or you can call it as the classic waterfall model kind of thing, or a quarterly release kind of model compared to the latest agile model. Then if somebody asks you what is Jira, people define Jira as a simple issue tracking tool. That is how it started long back. And it was mostly a free software. That's why it was so popular. And a lot of people have been using this because it was a free software. And it started all like an issue tracking tool where, the testing team or anybody who wanted to log issues that they realized during the testing, that they found during the testing. It could be bugs or anything that they have to work on, whatever they wanted to track it. So the Jira was one of the solution available freely for most of the companies. So it started as an issue tracking tool, but today it's not just an issue tracking tool. It is being used as a complete application lifecycle management tool. What is an application lifecycle management tool? Right from you get requirements from your customer until it gets delivered to the customer, and post delivery also there is a warranty or maintenance for certain period. So the complete life cycle is being maintained through this particular Jira software. So it has been evolved greatly over a period of time with the different features that are available apart from just issue tracking tool. And what kind of roles that are available in Jira? Typically, there are two user roles. One is called Jira Software Manager, and the other one is called Jira Software User. Mostly, you all going to work as Jira Software User, typically like a test engineer or developer or a build engineer, etc. But when you go into the next level, like when you become a lead, I'm sorry. Suppose you become a lead or you become a manager, or within a Scrum team nowadays you find a role called Scrum Master. So when you get into any of those roles, then you will be working as a Jira Software Manager. Typically, manager has much more capabilities than a normal user, where a manager can create a project, update projects, delete projects, add users, provide permissions to the users, all that kind of aspects. Whereas a normal user, he'll just work on a particular issue type. It could be a task or a subtask. He'll just work on the task, complete it, close it. So that is the difference between the user roles, like Jira Software Manager or Jira Software User. And since you are maintaining from the beginning of the project, from the day one of the project till the end of the project, everything you are maintaining at one central location. Now, this is a central location to maintain all your project information, like requirements of the project or user stories of the project, and the tasks related to that particular sprint, and how the teams are completing those tasks, burning out those tasks on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes this task leads to tough subtasks, so how those subtasks being created and how are they updating them. So if you wanted to see any of those reports, probably on a daily basis, weekly basis, on a sprint, or a yearly basis, if you wanted to see, those reports are available within the Jira, and it's just a click of a button available, because you are maintaining everything centrally from day one till the end of the project within this centrally located software. And it's a web application, and it's a cloud-based. There are two versions of it. That's what uh, this fourth point, which I mentioned, software types. So there are two types of software. One is the actual Jira server that you can install it on premise in your company headquarters. You can maintain one server and you can install in that. That is your own. Nobody else have an access to that, your company, and somebody can work as an administrator for that Jira software, and your company will take care of that. That is one type of software that is available, called Jira server version. But the problem with that is you need the hardware. So you need to buy the hardware, you need to buy the server, you need to have a server operating system in that, and then you have to take care of everything on your own. Of course, Jira team will help you. They will be available on the call, and customer care will help you, technical team will help you, but you are going to own it completely on your own. The other type of software, very simple, easy and use, very easy to use, is the cloud version of it, where Jira team maintains servers in their data center. All you have to do is request how many people are going to use this software. According to that, they will charge. And today or probably tomorrow, we'll create our own cloud software site. So we'll come to know how to create the site, and from there onwards, we can go on creating different tasks and subtasks, etc. So it's very easy to use, accessible from anywhere, because it's available on the cloud. Nothing to do with you don't need to be available even in your corporate network. As long as you have a proper email ID and password of your organization, you can actually get into the cloud version of the software. But again, people, not 100% of people can go to cloud, because some companies have, uh, very important personal informations like credit card, debit card information, bank details, etc. So those people probably may not go to the, again, there are two types of cloud versions, public and private cloud. So depending on that, they can choose. But again, not 100% people may not prefer cloud because of their security information, etc. But it is always easy to use, and you don't need to buy any hardware. You don't need to buy any server operating system. You don't need to maintain any administrator to create and all that. So those are the straightaway advantages that you get it from the cloud version of it. Any questions on the agenda that we have covered it on the orientation session? And if you want me to go any more in detail that I have not covered in the orientation, I'm happy to do that. We are just in day one, so we will be having completely 15 sessions, including today's one, in which we'll be dealing with two types of projects completely. One, the basic software development project, and second one is uh, agile scrum development project. Go to webinar, experiencing audio difficulties. Okay. So just sign out and sign in should help. So why don't you just go ahead and try that? Can I get the link for orientation video? So whoever has been registered for this orientation or any Jira training, so you'll all get email from learn@itlearn.com or karthik@itlearn.com, in which you will have all the links for the videos, especially for the orientation, day 1 and day 2. Even tomorrow is also a free session. Up to that, you will get it in a public email. You can access it from there. But from day 3 onwards, once you have the membership, you have to get into the IT-Elearn website. You have to log in into the IT-Elearn website. Then only you can access the videos based on your membership. Is it clear? Okay, so I'll deal with this again. I'm not going into this right now because when we actually start creating the Agile Scrum project, I'll deal it in detail and then we will actually create the project. But anybody is new to the Agile or anybody does not aware of what is an Agile and Scrum? Anyway, I'll be dealing with in detail. So, but just a quick introduction about it is. No, no, I'm not showing gold. That's the, I mean, so I'll just quickly walk through these slides and then we will move ahead. Okay, so Pravina and Akshay, my suggestion is first go and watch the orientation session that we have covered. There I have covered about 15 to 20 minutes on Agile, but again, that is not sufficient. When we actually go to the project creation, Agile and Scrum project, I will be covering much more in detail about the Agile. But just to give you a quick idea, in today's world, people are away from delivering the projects of 6 months old, 1 year old, 1 year life cycle projects. IT companies are working in a quick delivery model, which is typically 4 weeks, which is called sprint, and it starts on the day 1 and completes on the day 30th at any point of the time. Its time is fixed. We cannot extend the time, but within that 4 weeks, what we can deliver will take only that much user stories or requirements and will deliver it to the customer. So in that case, there are certain terminologies that you have to aware of and all that. That's what I have explained in the orientation, and I'll be covering it again. There are many agile methodologies, like Scrum is one of the one that is very famous. And when we go into Jira software, we are going to use Scrum project. Now, as I said, these are the two variants of software server and cloud version. So we will be using the cloud version. I'm not going into the server version. Okay, so Deepu, as I started, right? So it started as a defect management tool. If you ask anybody, people generally say Jira is an issue tracking tool. When it started as an issue tracking tool way back 15, 20 years back. But today it is a complete application lifecycle management tool. You start from the beginning of the project and it go up to the end of the project. That's what is called application lifecycle management, or ALM. The other competitors for this ALM is from HP ALM software, or previously known as Quality Center. And from Microsoft, we have a Visual Studio Online that is also a cloud-based, that also offers waterfall model project, agile scrum project, pretty much competitor for this. And they are also previously, if you look at the way Microsoft products used to be available, right? You need to buy the software and install it on your machines and all. Even they have started offering you as a services model, cloud versions of it. So even they are at a very pretty competitive price compared to Jira. So yes, ALM is similar to Jira. Visual Studio Online is similar to Jira. These are the competitors for it. And this is a cast version of Jira. It's a pretty, I would say smaller companies can easily afford just a $10 per month, and you will get it access. But other softwares are pretty higher than this. Previously, it used to be completely free, but they have a good user base, so and they're offering it as a very. Bugzilla is basically only for bugs, so you won't do complete lifecycle management there. So that is a major difference between ALM and Bugzilla. Bugzilla is only for your defects. As soon as you find a defect, you log it, and it will go through some life cycle. You create a new defect, somebody will open, somebody will work on it, they fix it, you do regression testing. If it is working fine, you close it, otherwise you reopen. So that's the life cycle. But that is just one part in the Jira or any ALM software. Defect is just one part, but there are so many other things that we will be doing it, right? So this is the pricing model that they are offering. So I'm sure even a small company can easily afford very easily. Rather than maintaining the stuff in the documents or Excel or SharePoint sites or anything, this is pretty easy to maintain and centrally located. So I'm sure you will see many job opportunities and many people using this. That's the idea behind showing the pricing model. And these are the different software. So we will be working with the first one, Scrum software development, followed by basic software development. So we look at both of them, and there is a slight difference in Kanban. So I'll talk about that, but you don't need to really. Actually, Kanban is just a slight variant of Scrum, so you don't need to really know completely about it. Very few companies use that. As we were talking, right, again, people are asking, is it just a bug tracking tool or similar to Bugzilla, blah, blah, blah. It is called issue tracking tool. Jira is known as, or it's famous as issue tracking tool. But there are different issue types that you can actually create. You can create a bug in that. You can create a task. For example, somebody has to write a document. So that also it goes as a task. And somebody, for example, if you go into, let's say you have to complete a big project, and project can be divided into so many tasks, and those tasks will be created. And sometimes you may have to go at subtask level, you have to do that. Some improvements have to be done that you will actually, for already implemented one, suppose we have to make some improvement, then you can create as an improvement. A new feature that the customer is asking, then you can go it as a new feature. And at a very high level, so we are not no more calling it as a requirement in any of the project. It all starts like an epic. So we'll see how we can create an epic through this. These are the issue types in basic software development project. Okay, and when we go to Scrum development, you will have only these types: bug, task, subtask. In Scrum methodology, it's called user story, so that's why it's called story. So there is no improvement or there is no new feature concept here. It's directly story and epic. So the flow is also very simple. We'll create some, let's say I'll create some task and assign it to some of you. And let's say you will do the task, and when you are actually working on it, you will move it to in progress, and when you're done with the task, you will put it as done. That's it. But in the previous one, it go through a couple of more phases. First, I'll create a task and assign it to you. Suppose it will be in a to do phase, and when you're working on it, it will be in progress state. And when you're done with it, you should not close it immediately. Somebody has to review that, and after the review completes, you'll put it into done. So but that doesn't mean that a review is completely gone away. There is a workaround that we can do. Before you actually close the task, you can ask somebody to review whatever you have done is correct or not, and if that is correct, then you should actually close it. So reviews are very important, so we should not take away from that. As I was talking about Jira Software Manager and Jira Software User, so typically as a software manager, you will be actually creating right from a very scratch level. So probably we'll start with this today. What is setting up your workspace and creating projects and etc. So as a manager, like, project manager or product owner in Scrum terminology, or Scrum Master within the Scrum team, you will be working as a manager. You start from a very scratch level, right from setting up a workspace for your project, and then you go and create a project. Depending on it, you will try to customize your project, and then you create a backlog. What are all we need to work on that sprint? So we'll create it as a backlog, and then how the teams go and groom the backlog, and then do the sprint planning. So all these tasks, as a manager, you will be able to do it. But I'm sure when you join in a company with some less than 3 to 4 years of experience, you will not be working as a software manager or a Jira software manager. But people who have more than 6, 7 years of experience, when you become a lead, probably you may start doing all these things. So, but if you're just going as a user, all you'll have to do is somebody will create an issue. When I say issue, it's not a bug. So please come out of that. Issue is not always just bug. Can anybody say what is an issue in the terminology of Jira? General synonym issue is normally some kind of a error or a problem or a bug. So don't just go with that. But in the Jira terminology, there are many issue types. These are all issue types. It can be bug, task, subtask, improvement, new feature, or epic, or at least it can be any of these. So what I was saying is if you join as a software user, all you will do is there will be some issue assigned on your name. It could be a task or a bug or a subtask or a feature. You'll just work on that issue. While working, obviously you'll collaborate with your team for any information. And if you're a developer, you create a branch and start coding in that and send it for a review, and then you'll finish the work. If you're a tester, there will be some testing task assigned to you. You work on the task. Of course, while working, you collaborate with your team and you complete the task. It could be some testing task, it could be some automation task, it could be anything. And then after that, you send it for a review and then you close your task. So that is how a sorry, software user will work. So this is a quick glance of the Scrum board. While working with a Scrum, we'll see how this is also called actually Scrum board or Kanban board, wherein it will tell you what are the tasks that are assigned on your name that you have to complete, what you are working on, what is under review, and what is already completed. So all that will be there. And finally, there are reports like sprint burn down chart report, sprint report, team velocity report, and cumulative flow diagrams. There are a lot of reports as they come when we actually create. All right, so this is what I kind of covered it in the orientation as well. With that, let's get into the actual software, what we need to do and how you can actually create. So meanwhile, if you have any questions, just put it in the chat. I'll take it up as related. So if you go into the basic Atlassian.com website, this is how where it looks like, and then go into product section. Typically, they are not just working with Jira, but they have a couple of other softwares also, something related to hip chart, conferencing, bit bucketizing, and then actually the Jira software. So if you can see, it shows as project and issue tracking. So let's go to Jira software. So this is where you would get the information about it, like it's a #1 software development tool used by agile teams, and you can know the features of it, what's new into the recent Jira software version, and of course the pricing page that I have just showed it. So all what you have to do is that so this is typically all you have to do is you plan your tasks, and basically it helps you to plan your project, to make a track of them, and then you release and finally report. So this is how they'll explain in a very nutshell what you can actually do with uh, the Jira software. So go into try it free section. So initially you may wanted to try as a free software. Now all I need is I'll try with my email ID, but I'm just, yeah, I think I should be able to create. So let's go as try it free again. So this basic Jira software version is what we are going to use it. But if you want the complete features of Jira software, plus if you wanted to go for some documentation, then you should go for the second one. If you want Jira software plus help desk, if you want the help from the help desk team, then you should go for this one. So based on the model, they have the free software. All right. Let me try this one and see what happens. So let's go for this one. Previously, I just used this one. Now all you have to do is, this is how you're going to register for the cloud version of the software. Okay. So, but again, when you wanted to really practice, please do that, because I think after 7 days, the cloud version will expire and they'll start asking you for the payment. The same $10 or $20 is what you have actually taken it up. So when you're really, really serious about practicing, then only you get go ahead and do that. So basically it's asking you to claim your site, how you want the site to be. I would say just give my name, Shankar ITE Learn. I'll just give this as my website name. And when you get a tick mark, that indicates that nobody is using that name and you're good to go with that. It's as good as, I don't know how many of you have experience of creating a website from, or, getting a domain from your GoDaddy or any other thing. So, and then you can give your name, and then I'll just give some name as, I'll give my email ID. Let me see if they say that it's already there. I'll just, I'll just give this shankar at itlearn.com. Then you have to give some password. So I'm just giving it as a test 1, 2, 3. So hope you all also can remember. And if I forget, probably you can help me in doing that. So it says weak, but that's okay. So as you all can see, what I did is just entered my website name, how I want. Obviously, this is not going to be the proper name if you're working in a real project, in the sense in a real company. Then if you're wondering how does that will be, for example, let's say you're working for an ABC organization, and there are different areas of domain in which your organization works. It's called line of business. Let's say your company is into insurance domain, finance domain, it is into healthcare domain. So they can go and create one, they can claim one site for one line of business. They can claim one site for their one type of a domain that they are working on. Of course, organization name will be prefix or suffix, but definitely organization name plus domain name or line of business will actually make their site. Typically in that same organization, they may be having multiple sites. If you are wondering why they will have multiple sites, why can't an entire organization can't have one site? Definitely you'll have a lot of performance issues, because we are talking about huge organizations where 5,000 testers, like that. So they cannot just work with one website for sure. And again, it's not just about testers, right? It's about the entire project lifecycle. So it is better to go at the domain level rather than having one site for the entire organization. So I'm just creating for now like this. So any questions on this? What we need to enter the site name, or I think only the site name is you should have a question. Remaining all, it's just your details. So go click on start trial. Let's see what happens. So now what I should do is I should check my inbox to activate this account. So it says check your inbox, and if at all, so ideally what happens, it will send out an email and we should be able to just activate that account. So you can also do all this post the session. So let me just go to my email, and hopefully I should get an email by now. If not, I'll wait for it to come because, all right. So it's not yet received. So we'll just wait for it. And definitely, I don't want to remember the password, so you can click it as no. That's gone. Any questions here up to this? I want to go at a very gradual level so that you all should not have any questions while creating the sites. It's not just done yet. We'll have to do so many things post this also. So please watch it carefully. And all you have to do is, before you put any question to our technical team about installation or claiming this site, my suggestion is you're all a self-learning team and just go through my videos again, revisit them. How did we create the site, or how did we claim the site? And then you should be able to do it on your own. The reason, because once you join in an organization, mostly you should be a self-dependent. Only you should ask somebody, a team lead or a senior person, if you cannot resolve it on your own. It's taking a while. And there also has given an option, but I really don't want to try it immediately now. If we don't receive an email, we can request a new one. But sometimes, it might take a while. So meanwhile, you have any questions, team, about the course, about what we're going to cover in the next 15 sessions? That I pretty much covered in the agenda. But if you still have any questions. Hmm, I don't think so. All I have is this. Let me check there also once. Nope, it's not there. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me see if I can do a request new one. Hopefully this time we should get it. Meanwhile, can one of you go ahead and register? Is it possible? Just go to atlassian.com and just sign up for that free one. All right, team. So after waiting for a few seconds, it is expected. But anyway, after waiting for 3-4 minutes, you see your email has been arrived. This is how it says. Your Atlassian cloud site is ready. if you go into that email, it'll tell you all the details like Atlassian welcome, because actually it has to prepare that site also, right? So, but what I felt previously was when I created it was on the fly and really did not take this amount of time. And you can see this is how it will come. Hello Shankar, and this is your website, Shankar ITElearn Atlassian.net. So you need to capture this URL, and it will tell you that you have joined over 50,000 individuals, blah blah blah. And if you forgot the password, how you can do that, and that information. So this first email in which you have that Atlassian site is ready, where you will have the site details. The other one is definitely very important, where they are saying verify your email address. So that is also important. Just go ahead and click on this verify email address option, so that it's a confirmation for the Atlassian team that you are actually working from a valid email account. You're not just giving some junk email, and you're not just bothering them creating some unnecessary websites and all that. So now they are actually giving you that information, right? So now, as you can see, your site is ready. The Atlassian site is ready, and this is your site name. And let's see, I captured the site name. If I also directly go there, will I get the same login form, or will I get something different? So you will be redirected to the same. Either you click on email, verify your email account, or you directly visit to the site. This is where you land. Okay. And my email ID, I'll just enter my email ID, shankar@itelearn.com. Password that I have entered was test123. I'm telling you all because you all will be joining with me for the rest of the sessions, but that's why I'm telling you all the password and everything. So hope, yeah, I think there was a delay on the software side, Sharmin. So that was the idea why it took time. Click on, so hope you all following me, right? So all what we did is we went to the Atlassian website, choose either a basic software or software plus a document version. We went for a try it free. We registered with the proper website name that we wanted, and we gave our email ID, password details. A site got created, and then after a few minutes, you got an email onto your inbox. From the email, what we know is that we know our site name, that is Shankar IT at Atlassian.net is a site for me. So I captured that site, and when I browse it, you get the login page. Uh, Team, can you hear me back? There was a hiccup in the audio. I lost for a few seconds. Okay. So then when we browse to the website, you're getting the login page through which you have to log in. The other one that you can also do is verifying your email account, so that you are a valid user for the Atlassian, and they'll be helping you on the need, and they'll be sending you all the required information whenever it is needed. Okay, click on the login button. So I was there in the industry for about 13 years. I have seen with waterfall, with all these ALM softwares installed on the server side, and now I'm using predominantly these cloud softwares for the last 2 years. So when we wanted to migrate our projects also into cloud, one of the biggest concern that came up from the industry was, can anybody guess what kind of, are you all familiar with the cloud technology, and what kind of advantages or what kind of problems that you expect out of that? Otherwise, just go Google it. You'll get a lot of information about it. So one of the first problem that everybody talks about, performance. As you can see, but everything is in cloud today, so it should not be a problem. So after I provide my user ID password, it just took a while to log in into the system. But if it is on my premise, if it is in my local, probably it will not take that amount of time. It will be faster. So one of the problems that people talk about is the performance in cloud. The second one that people talk about is the security point of view, because I'm giving all my information here. I'm putting all my project details here. Uh, Depending on, as I already told you, banking applications, personal information, PII applications and all, they won't probably may not prefer, but rest of the, because of their constraints and the restricted information, but rest everybody can easily go it. Okay, so once you log in, it's asking you to choose the language option. So these are the different language options in which you can use. It's a globalized software as well as localized software into some local languages. So I'm going with English, United States. Very interesting. So this is where you need to choose your avatar. So if you want to have a picture, you can put it, or if you want to choose an avatar, just click on avatar, and there are different avatars here. You can just go ahead and choose one of them. So probably I'll just pick it up something for now and then move ahead. Click next. So you want to create a project. So these are the different projects like my first so if you wanted to do it, this is about learning the software. You can do that. Actually, you can go all these also. This is how it will show you a project. And what is a project? A project is a simply collection of issues. As we all started, Jira is just a collection of issues maintaining, issues tracking software, right? But again, issue is not just a bug. So please, please, please be aware of it. Issue is not just bug. Issue is different types. It could be task, subtask, etc. So they're trying to give you a quick glimpse of what you can do with the Jira. A project is a collection. So you will have many projects to be created in the Jira, and a project is just a collection of issues. Click next. And what is an issue? Issue can be anything that you want to work on. For example, after going home, even creating or acquiring this Jira software, Jira cloud software, as you wanted to go and register into this Jira cloud software, that itself could be an issue for you immediately after this training. So you may start working on that. So that could be an issue. Anything that you want to work, anything that you as an individual want to work on it. It could be a test case, it could be a testing something, it could be regression testing of something, it could be automating something. Anything that you wanted to do can be tracked as an issue, right? So this is an issue. An issue represents something that needs to be worked on. So that is a very simple definition that you can give it for an issue. An issue represents something that you just want to work on. Click next. Definitely issue will have a summary when we probably from tomorrow when we start creating them, you will have all that. The summary tells you what is the issue is all about, what you want to work. Maybe you want to write a blog, that is an issue for you. Maybe you wanted to have a meeting with somebody on a particular issue, that itself is an issue for you. So it'll have some summary details. And the key uniquely identifies the issue. So many issues in a project, how to identify? So there will be a key that every issue is identified with some unique number, and that is the unique for that. Then an issue needs to be assigned to somebody, right? So who is going to work on that issue? Fine. As a team, when we go into sprint planning or anything, we'll create an issue, and but who is going to work on that? So we'll have to assign somebody. So that person name is called assignee. In Jira terminology, it's called assignee. As of now, I'm the only one as an administrator into this project, but probably tomorrow I will add a couple of more people into this. I will create a couple of more projects into this, add more people. So assignee can be any one of the members that are available in that project. So we call it as assignee in Jira terminology. Assignee is a person currently working on this issue who needs to work on this. Then status, there will be a clear status for every issue. At any point of the time when you log in into the site and check for what is the status of an issue, you will come to know whether it is in to do. That means nobody started on this. It is still in to do, nobody working on this. If you see the status as in progress, very good, somebody started working on it. Not somebody, whoever is being assignee, he started working on that. He or she started working on that. So the status indicates where the issue currently in its workflow. What is a workflow? If you remembered, I showed you some time back here. This is a workflow. It will be initially in to do, then it will be moved into in progress, and then it will be done. So that is the workflow meaning. Next. So you can see this is a workflow. You go create an issue, and then you start working on it. It is in progress. If you're done, you will move it to done. But suppose before done there is a problem, then you will reopen the issue. While in progress, that issue becomes obsolete. We don't need to work on that. We got some new task, we got some new thing. So we'll simply put as stop the progress. So it could be of a workflow like this. And then there are different buttons which will help us to do updating the issue. Like you can edit an issue, you can comment on issue, you can stop its progress, and you can say done means it's done. So that is how we are going to work with that. It's something similar to defect lifecycle. Yes, Akshay is saying. Okay, if you click on done, what will happen? It's complete, right? So it will completely cut into green, and the issue is done. So notice how the issue is transformed through the workflow, and it will be done, right? So they're just trying to explain for a very beginner like you, if you're starting with Jira, how you're going to do it. So this is how it's a congratulations. So now you have covered the basic concepts in Jira, but this is not just it. Okay, so if this is the case, then you don't need to really attend any sessions. You can just create your website and just do at home. There are a lot more things that we'll do, but what they are saying is a basic, very basic concept of Jira is what you got it. Is that what they're saying? Apart from this, we will do so many other things, like we'll see how we can create. So if we have to start creating a project, and then we'll have to start creating the tasks in that, issues in that, subtasks in that. So we'll have to do all that. So that will continue from tomorrow. So we'll create a project tomorrow, and then we'll start working on that. But if you have to go with the Scrum project first, then I need to talk about Scrum in detail, because I don't want to hear any questions after creating the project about what is sprint, what is sprint planning, etc., etc. So we'll see. I mean, first I'll start with maybe basic project, and then we'll go into Scrum project. So anybody has any questions at this moment? So all I can request you is go back and watch the orientation session that we did it last week, and then day one session, even if you have missed anything, or even if you have attended this session late. So you all should be ready for the upcoming sessions starting from tomorrow. So I want to take some time. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Anybody has any questions? Can I have the so as I'm saying, Akshay, if you have registered for this particular Jira sessions, you will get an email with the orientation video as well as day one video. In fact, you will get a video link for day two also. From day three onwards, we'll not make it public. It will be there within the IT-Learn website. So once you're done with your membership and all, you have to log in into the site to get an access. But up to day one and day two, we'll make it public. All right, so I'll take a pause it here. Tomorrow we'll start creating the project, and then we'll see what we can do with in detail with the Jira software. Thank you all. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're from. Have a good day.